Ouma, and of course doing this together with
John Jacob Kiria. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Let's have a look at what is making headlines tonight. The hunt for outlaws.
Police in hot pursuit of assailants who gunned down a businessman in Juja on Saturday.
Putting pen to paper.
The Kenya Certificate of Primary Examination underway on Monday.
And politics and diplomacy.
Deputy President William Ruto lands in London as One Kenya Alliance principals hold talks with Ugandan President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Our sign language interpreter tonight is Byron Aboli. Let's begin this straight away.
All right, an estimated 1.2 million candidates will sit the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education KCPE examinations that begin on Monday.
The exercise will be preceded by the opening of exam containers at 6 in the morning by various senior government officials across the country.
Fred Moore begins our coverage tonight with that story.
Class 8 pupils will finally put pen to paper beginning Monday in the first of two national primary school examinations lined up this year. The Ministry of Education is hoping to ensure a seamless exercise, which will begin with the opening of exam containers by various government officials at 6 a.m. countrywide. 1,225,693 candidates registered for the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examinations. Earlier this week, the Ministry of Education said all measures have been put in place to curb cheating and ensure the protection of candidates writing their papers in volatile areas. Frederick Moki for Sunday Express.
All right, all the very best once again. Now let's move this forward. The owner of the collapsed building in Kinoo, Kiambu County, has been given 24 hours to demolish the structure.
The building caved in and leaned on an adjacent residential apartment on Sunday night, forcing tenants to be evacuated to safety.
The National Construction Authority says it has launched investigations into the near tragedy to ascertain whether rules were followed in the construction.
It was meant to stay up 5 stories above ground. But now an adjacent pillar in providing a temporary shoulder to lean on as the owner scrambles to beat a 24-hour ultimatum to bring it down block by block.
Our team of engineers from a multi-sectoral team of engineers from the county government, the National Building Inspectorate, the Engineering Board of Kenya, and the National Construction Authority will be supervising that process.
It is a sight that has become a commonplace in the region.
Nisikia mgurumo. Nikashindwa ni nini na guruma, nikajaribu kufungua gate kutoka nje, nikaona vumbi. So kuangalia nikaona kama vumbi ikawa ni kubwa, vumbi mingi sana. Sasa sikuelewa ni nini.
Just months after yet another building came tumbling down a few kilometers away. According to initial investigations, the building had a weak foundation and the materials used didn't meet the requirements of putting up such a monstrosity.
What I've just seen just from eye, there has to be an issue with foundation and even the columns. But as to know the particular cause or causes of the collapse, we have to do an investigation.
It's an engineering exercise. They need to be supervised by engineers, but they'll give us a contractor who can do that work, a different contractor from the one who was doing construction. And we are going to supervise the works.
Authorities say they will seek to establish what caused the building to collapse.
Most of the developers do not have engineers with them, either through the design process, where they just get some people who stamp, some rogue engineers who do stamp and approve drawings and are not involved in the supervision, or they disengage the qualified and properly registered engineers.
But as investigations get underway, tenants in the adjacent building have been forced to seek alternatives and allow their block lend a shoulder for now.
Kwa sasa tunangoja serikali kama inaweza kuingia kidogo, ikuje iondoe hii nyumba ndio turudi makwetu.
Kama haingekuwa nyumba nyingine, hii nyumba yote ingekuwa chini.
Timothy Kipnusu, for Sunday Express.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has announced that the government will sponsor junior amateur golfer Mutahi Kibugu to the Shidol Open scheduled for May in Belgium. President Kenyatta was speaking at the Muthaiga Golf Club during the award ceremony of the 2022 Magical Kenya Open.
After being the first Kenyan amateur to make the cut at the Kenya Open Golf Championship in 11 years, President Uhuru Kenyatta has said that junior amateur Njoroge Kibugu will receive support to participate in the Shidol Open in Belgium this May. Speaking at the Muthaiga Golf Club during the award ceremony of the 53rd Magical Kenya Open, the head of state added that the support will not only cover Kibugu's cost of the event, but his training program.
We will sponsor him to go to the Shidol Open in Belgium, between the 12th and the 15th of May, and as I told you, Njoroge, I hope your folks give you permission. But we will also support his transition to professional golf, and that will include supporting him with his trainers.
The president added that his government will support the legacy program of the Junior Golf Foundation.
And as a government, and in appreciation of the sterling position golf has assumed in our society, and also to motivate our legendary and budding golfers, we have been setting aside close to $2.5 million every year towards organizing these world-class events and supporting the prize purse, and this we have done for the last 5 years.
Kibugu was awarded with a silver salver for being the best placed amateur. He carded a final round of 6 over par 77 for a total of 2 over par 286.
Couldn't get anything going. Putts weren't dropping. Had unlucky breaks on 1 and 10. Was right next to a root and then next to a tree. But the fans were amazing. I appreciate everyone who came to watch, and I'm grateful.
Ashun Wu of China won the championship after a final round of 6 under par 65 for a total of 16 under par 268. Wu's previous rounds were 69, 68 and 66. He walked away with a top prize of 297,500 euros, equivalent to 37.3 million shillings. He also received a trophy and the winner's red jacket.
It's not an easy course. I mean, it's a tough course. You have to find a right way to play and keep the ball on the fairway and find the right side to keep your ball on the right side, and you might have a good chance. Otherwise, it's tough.
Meanwhile, the government has committed to keep the Magical Kenya Open as a DP World Tour event for another year, with the 2023 tournament slated for Muthaiga. For Sunday Express, I am Daniel Wahome.
A cool 37 million shillings for clubbing that small ball. Anyway, let's move to some sad news. Investigations into the gruesome murder of a 66-year-old businessman in Juja, Kiambu County have commenced. Sudhir Shah, the director of Ndarugo Plantations, was reportedly shot twice near the plantation in Juja on Saturday by unknown assailants aboard a motorbike. According to the Shah was in the company of 8 other people when he was shot dead.
It is here where the late Sudhir Shah was shot on Saturday at midday, a few meters from the Ndarugo Plantations, where he is the director. Detectives have so far cordoned off the place as investigations into the attack begin. Shah is said to have been in the company of a fellow director and 7 other team members of the plantation, whom he had convened a meeting with before the incident.
Later they came where we are studying for further deliberations, and in the process a motorcycle appeared with 2 passengers. One of the passengers was armed with a pistol. One of the officers who was accompanying the directors engaged the attackers. A fire exchange ensued, and one of the directors was injured.
Shah, who was the only one injured, was immediately rushed to hospital in Thika Town, where he unfortunately succumbed to grave injuries.
Statements were documented from the witnesses, and the investigations are going on to unearth what exactly transpired and to bring the suspect to face the law.
Detectives say it is still not clear who the attackers are, neither the motive of the shooting.
We have involved various sections at the DCI headquarters. We have the ballistics, we have the homicide unit, we have the crime scene investigations. We also involve the Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau, as well as the investigation branch.
The investigation team has, however, urged members of the public to volunteer and share any crucial information that may assist in unearthing what transpired. Kamche Menzam for Sunday Express.
All right, away from that, Deputy President William Ruto has arrived in London, United Kingdom from Washington, D.C. The Deputy President was received by Kenyan Ambassador to London, Manoa Esipisu, and is expected to have several high-profile meetings for the next 3 days.
After concluding his tour in United States of America, Deputy President William Ruto arrived in United Kingdom Sunday morning for a 3-day visit. Ruto was received by Kenya's ambassador to UK, Manoa Esipisu, and is set to hold meetings with UK government officials and Kenyans in diaspora. And as the Deputy President continues with his tour abroad, his allies were in Uasin Gishu.
We need serious prayers in this country. Na zaidi ya hayo maombi yote, muzidizie maombi rais wetu Uhuru Kenyatta. Kwa sababu ile barabara anatupeleka ni barabara tulitoka miaka mingi sana iliyopita. Kenya ni nchi huru, nchi demokrasia, kila mtu ana ruhusa kwenda kwa kanisa kutoa matoleo, kwenda kwa kisiasa kufuata mwenye anataka kufuata bila kushurutishwa na mtu yote.
The leaders speaking against what they perceive as government's attempt to curtail democracy.
We are watching what we are doing and we will march you head on. Kwa sababu tutalimana na nyinyi na afadhali tuambie where we can see the mistakes. It is not that you will beat us in an election. All we are telling you is we need free and fair general election.
The UDA MPs demand credible general elections, expressing confidence that they will win. Yeshoki Washira, Sunday Express.
To the politics of the One Kenya Alliance, where Principals Kalonzo Musyoka and Senator Gideon Moi met and held lengthy discussions with Ugandan President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in State House, Nakasero, Kampala. The discussion centered on the current situation in South Sudan, particularly the planned retreat between President Salva Kiir and his first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar. Also discussed in the meeting were bilateral issues between Kenya and Uganda. Earlier, the Wiper leader held discussions with former Ugandan Special Envoy to South Sudan, Ambassador Betty Bigombe, and British High Commissioner to Uganda, Kate Airy, at a Campley hotel. The talks generally focused on the status of security regime of the revitalized agreement on the resolutions of a conflict in South Sudan, and in particular, the unification of the two armies.
From Uganda, we bring you back to the country. National Assembly Speaker and presidential aspirant Justin Muturi is now calling for tolerance and peace during the campaign season. Muturi noted that sustained acrimony and name-calling would lead to the country's instability.
Speaking after a church service at St. James Cathedral, SEK in Kiambu Town, Democratic Party presidential flag bearer Justin Muturi said it was unfortunate for leaders to publicly quarrel at the expense of those who elected them into office.
Naamini kwamba ni vizuri tuwe na taifa ambalo tunahubiri sana heshima kwa kila mmoja, na nimesema mara kwa mara, hata kama sehemu hii tunaita ya Mlima Kenya, tafadhali tuwe watu ambao tunaangazia peace na unity.
This comes as Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims SUPKEM has called on political leaders to shun negative political rhetoric that can divide the nation and lead to violence.
We call upon the state institutions including IEBC, NCIC, and the Office of the DPP, and the DCI to spotlight perpetrators of hate speech and take firm and appropriate action in accordance with the law. We call upon the President of the Republic of Kenya as the head of state and a symbol of national unity to ensure that the country remains united and ensure peaceful transition.
Hatutaki tuyarudie hayo mambo tena. Kwa hivyo, tunaomba wananchi wote, hasa vijana wetu, wasitumiwe na viongozi wa kisiasa.
Elsewhere, the Service Party TSP leader and former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri, who is eyeing the Laikipia East parliamentary seat, has said his party will enter into coalition with other political parties after the August 9th general elections.
Sasa tumekaribia uchaguzi na wakati huu tunataka kujipanga kama chama cha TSP na kupanga wafuasi wetu. Manake kuna mambo ambayo lazima tuzungumzie kabla ya uchaguzi kufika na kupeana kura zetu.
Meanwhile, a section of community leaders in Siaya County have accused veteran politicians from the area of clinging to elective posts and hindering the possibility of the young generation venturing in leadership.
Kila mara katika kaunti ya Siaya kumekuwa na viongozi wenye wamekula chumvi kidogo. Si kwamba ni wabaya, bali tungependa raundi kijana tuongoze ili tuone manufaa ya vijana pia, na pia mahitaji ya vijana ishughulikiwe vilivyo.
We really acknowledge his past political contributions to the people of Siaya County. Nevertheless, we do urge him to pave way for young and energetic leaders, since this will also give the youth hope that they can also be tomorrow's leaders.
It's time for us to take our very first breather on Sunday Express. But of course, the very best of wishes, like we said as we began this program, to the Class 8 students who are sitting their exams tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed. And
significant day.
Yeah, if you have anyone specific you'd like to, send that message to, you can, engage us on social media at KBC Channel 1. Use the hashtag Sunday Express at Serfine_Achieng and at
JKuria.
We will be sampling some of those before we wind up. But for now, we take a break. We'll be back with much more.
Please drop the charges against my brother.
He tried to kill me. There's no way I'm dropping the case.
Get a divorce. Leave here for good.
You should leave now. Get out of my house. Leave now. Leave. Where are you begging you?
Go. Grabbed hold of Jack's shirt collar and tried to push him off the building. It was the most horrible thing.
Go to the police station and drop the charges. And also go to Pinky's to beg for their forgiveness.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back. You're watching Sunday Express.
Indeed, and it's like guys were just waiting for that call. A lot of messages coming in. We'll be sampling some of them before we wind up this particular broadcast. But for now, let's move this forward.
A family in Lakisama, Nairobi, is pleading for assistance to raise 5 million Kenyan shillings and have their kin undergo a specialist endometriosis treatment abroad after efforts to manage the disorder locally bore no fruit.
Linda Howie has suffered the disorder since 2009 when she began experiencing abnormal bleeding. The disease has led to other complications, including uterine problems, anemia, and even heart complications.
Endometriosis is a disorder in which tissue that normally line the uterus grow outside the uterus. Aspirity Museo now reports that the 25-year-old mother of one is desperate to have her life back to normal.
Linda's pain can be spotted from afar. When we arrive at their home in Nairobi's Lakisama area, she's taking a nap. Her mom takes advantage of our arrival and steps out to pick a few things from the market. Before we begin our interview, she requests help to visit the restrooms for a short call. In the process, I discover that Linda is also experiencing so much pain while passing urine. At this point, even the strongest man cannot afford to hold back their tears. Linda suffers from complications as a result of what doctors described as endometriosis, a disorder she was diagnosed with in 2009 while she was still in high school.
The problem started when I was in high school, but it wasn't really diagnosed because it kept on being diagnosed as different things.
The problem was characterized by heavy bleeding and a prolonged monthly period.
It got to a point my period had to be stopped manually, like I'd have to go to the hospital so that they inject me with drugs that can stop the bleeding.
In 2018, 10 years later, she lost her job and was fully grounded at home.
My supervisor just decided to let go of me indefinitely because she could not understand me, and at that interview she told me that the day I decide to recover, I'd look for another job.
The environmental scientist has so far undergone 5 surgeries, but none was a breakthrough. Pain has become part of her.
What's the point if you are always a source of pain to your family all the time, and people now refer to you as that sick girl?
Luckily, her family has identified a hospital in the US that can help save her life. However, they are unable to raise 5 million shillings for her treatment abroad.
For anyone who is willing to contribute whatever they can to the pay bill, it will go a long way. It will assist me try to get my life back, even if it's not going to be 100%, but at least it will improve the quality of my life.
From 2009, Linda has been in and out of hospitals. Her life has been about drugs. However, she hasn't given up on her life yet. She's giving herself another chance, and she requires 5 million shillings to travel abroad and get specialist care for her problem. The pay bill number is displayed right on your screen for anyone willing to assist her. Purity Museo in Lakisama, Nairobi.
Very unfortunate situation there. Linda Howie, 25 years, she only just desperately wants her life back to normal. That story will be posted on our YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1. In case you want to reach out for help, you can get details on how to do that. Now, moving this forward, Kenya's COVID-19 positivity rate has dropped to 0.1% after 4 people tested positive for the disease from a sample size of 3,956 tested in the last 24 hours. From the case cases, all the 4 are Kenyans, 2 are male while 2 are female. A total confirmed positive cases now stand at 323,075. On Sunday, 23 patients recovered from the disease, 22 of them from home-based and isolation care, while 1 is from a health facility in the country. 1 patient has, however, succumbed to the disease, a late death reported in February 2022. Globally, 445 million coronavirus cases have been reported, with 6 million fatalities. Meanwhile, as of March 5th, 2022, 16.8 million vaccines had been administered across the country. Of these, 7.8 million are partially vaccinated, while those fully vaccinated are 7.7 million. Another 2.1 million are doses administered to those between 15 to 17 years, while 259,046 are booster doses. Now, members of county assemblies have been commended for linking the grassroots to the national development agenda. Speaking during the County Gala Awards in Mombasa, CEO Khalif Njiraini said MCAs have been at the forefront in championing devolution of resources to the counties.
It was pomp and colour at the 4th County Gala Awards. Politicians and civil servants from all cadres, from the grassroots to the national level, were fitted. During the Gala Awards ceremony held at a Mombasa hotel, the County Gala Awards CEO Khalif Njiraini gave a special recognition to MCAs across the country, saying they bear the biggest pressure of leadership because they are the closest to the grassroots.
We found that MCAs bear the biggest pressure of leadership because hao ndio wako wanaishi na nini. If you are an MCA, jipigie makofi tafadhali.
Njiraini reiterated that the awards are meant to encourage performance, development, leadership and integrity. Voted the best cabinet secretary in the country, Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed said leadership is about relationships and how one relates to the subjects that makes them unique.
These awards, in essence, do not only recognize the peculiarity of talents and skills, but also the hard work, commitment, and resilience that goes into making a good servant leader.
Keyo North Member of Parliament James Murgo, who was voted the best MP in Elgeyo Marakwet County, said zero tolerance to corruption was the key to his leadership success in the constituency and dedicated the award to his office personnel who have supported his development agenda.
The thing is, in Keyo North, one is zero tolerance to corruption. All right, so that whatever we get, which is meant for the people of Keyo North, actually they receive that.
The MCAs who won noted that dedication to serve their people was the driving force to achieving their development goals.
Hii award kwanza naidediketia watu wangu wa Githurai kwa umoja ile ambao tumekuwa nao katika makazi zetu, katika challenges zetu zile tumekuwa nazo, so nawarushia shukrani for that support.
Sisi ni watumwa wa watu na jukumu letu ni kutumikia umma. Hatuna budi ili kuwatumikia watu wetu kwa wajibu wa sheria iliyowekwa, kwa sababu sheria ndio inatulinda sisi, na niseme kila mmoja awajibike, ili leo ni mimi, kesho ni mwingine.
From Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
Kenyans have been urged to embrace outdoor activities such as walking and chatting as a strategy to uphold positive mental wellness. According to experts, physical fitness remains a sustainable way of keeping fit. The experts further urged Kenyans to adopt a lifestyle that will help promote positive mental health and raise awareness on mental resilience.
The COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting economic recession have negatively affected a majority of Kenyans. With the pandemic came a new normal of uncertainty, altered daily routines, financial pressures, and social isolation. This has resulted in a significant and unprecedented worsening of the state of the mental health among Kenyans. It's against this background that Go Beyond Limited, a non-governmental organization in Nairobi, convened a 10-kilometer walk aimed at promoting positive mental health among Kenyans. The outdoor event dubbed Walk and Talk was organized to offer participants a platform to walk, engage in open discussions and have a healthy check.
Being able to bring people to adopt a sustainable way of remaining physically fit, which then translates into mental wellness through walking. You don't have to go to the gym, and The importance of coming onto this networking platform is because you are in a community of people with like minds.
According to Damais Ndira-directed Go Beyond Kenya Limited, physical fitness enhances our cognitive ability, and this was a major step towards positive mental wellness.
We are promoting mental resilience through physical fitness. We have come together with a number of organizations today that have come on board to support us to create a platform that allows people to get that full view of their wellness other than mental.
She further called upon Kenyans to engage in physical activities like walking as a strategy to reduce anxiety, depression, and improve their self-esteem and cognitive function. The outdoor activities were also meant to mark the International Women's Day, which is celebrated on 6th March every year.
Nakuomba umtalikilea.
Madam Kate.
Hakikisha ukija mtute asijue kwamba unakuja kuniona. Toka wapi, mbona unajificha?
Wewe kwani umenitafuta huko tumenikosa?
That's a white lie and you know it. Nimechoka na uongo zako.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, a family in Manach, a village in Seretunin area of Baringo County, says it is struggling to hold on to one of the most valuable assets which has been part and parcel of its lengthy history. For years, the Genisachoni family has been the custodians of one of the oldest myths in the region and whose sanctuary is now under threat by commercial interests. Ruth Wamboi reports.
Isaiah Cheptumo says his family is fighting for its history, wealth and a story it has told for years.
Kuna vitu mzuri sana. Kuna manyama mingi. Hata samaki ilikuwa na chaa hii mto. Ilikuwa na lisha sisi. Alienda kupiga siku moja. Kuna mtu ilikuwa naishi hii nyumba. Kama koko yetu ya zamani. Koko yetu ya zamani ilikuwa nakuchia kutoka mahali ingine naitwa Masaini. Na hiyo koko ilikuwa mzuri na ilikuwa mtu mrefu sana. Na alikuja kupotea mpaka naingia hii nyumba.
The family traces its roots to the Kikocho Falls and the caves beneath.
Sasa kamwambia wewe kijana umekuwa kubwa. Twende nikuonyeshe samba. Amekaa kwa muda mrefu mpaka nakaa huko. Huyu amekaa hapa mpaka na tafuta bibi yake. Akakuja kukaa akasaa sisi. Huyo mjamaa alikuwa anatokezea kwa huyo mama, natokea mbali. Akasema naenda Manach.
Hiyo mama alikuja kuishi hapa kwa muda mrefu, alafu ikapatikana nafasi. Akakuwa na kijana yake, akasaa sisi, akasaa family yetu. Hii family inaitwa Genisachoni. Wakati kutoka siku hiyo tukapata report kwa wasee. Kasema hii mama ilitoka sehemu za Mount Kenya huko, ndio alisaa nyinyi.
The family says that it is now fighting to hold on to that history because Kikocho Falls is at the heart of a commercial interest.
Hiyo magati yao sasa hatutaki hawa na
krocha hapa, hata chusi alileta msugu mpaka hapa na tulijimasa. Tumesirika sana kwa hawa nalete watu yao na kuipa vitu yetu. Tunataka hawa aende Tarambas. Kama hakuna market ni juu yao. Sisi yetu tunalete maneno yetu sisi wenyewe.
The family from Manach village in Baringo County says if at all the place is to be turned into a tourist site, then the process should remain with the family.
Hii sehemu ya Manach nakapima kutoka pandele na pandele juu, hii ni yako. Sababu hii kijana hawezi kutanisha na watoto yake huko. Hii anachua huyu ametoka nyumba ngine. Na akasema kwa sababu amekaa kwa sehemu mzuri na akakaa mzuri, wacha mimi napatia shamba. Na hiyo shamba sasa ikawekwa, ikapimwa, ikakuwa area yetu hii. Mpaka wakati huu ndio watu amekuwa mwaka mrefu. Watu hii kakuja sasa, wanakuja kusanya kwa hii tunataka hii, conservative tunataka hii, waterfall ni namna hii. Sababu wale wa zamani hakuna hawa kifikiria hakuna mtu anaweza kuchukua kitu kama hiyo tukifuatilia.
Ruth Wamboi for Sunday Express.
All right, Ruth Wamboi, thank you for that particular report. Now, moving on, an agricultural conference in Gilgil has resolved to push for Africa's economy strategies in the global community ahead of the climate change conference COP27 to take place in Egypt in June 2022. The experts drawn from 55 Africa member states have worked on a unified report from a 3-day conference. They say the main focus of the Conference of Peace Academy right here in Nairobi, all the very best. And please keep on sending those messages. We'll be sampling more before we wind up, but for now we want to take a very short break. John Jacob Curia will be coming shortly with the latest from the world of sports.
Na kuomba umtalikilea.
Madam Kate.
Hakikisha ukija mtoto asijue kwamba unakuja kuniona. Toka wapi, mbona wajificha?
Wewe kwani umenitafuta huko tumenikosa?
That's a white lie and you know it. Nimechoka na uongo zako.
It's time for sports. Olympic marathon champion Eliud Kipchoge and Olympic silver medalist Brigid Kosgei won the Tokyo Marathon early today morning. Kipchoge won the race on his debut, clocking a new course record of 2 hours and 2 minutes and 40 seconds, while Brigid Kosgei completed the Kenyan double in 2 hours, 16 minutes and 2 seconds.
After collecting major marathon wins in Chicago, 4 times in London, 3 times in Berlin and twice at the Olympics over the past decade, Eliud Kipchoge won his first Tokyo Marathon title, clocking 2 hours, 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the 4th fastest marathon in history, after dropping fellow Kenyan Amos Kipruto, the 2019 World Championship bronze medalist, who finished second. Tamira Tola of Ethiopia settled for that position. Brigid Kosgei completed the Kenyan double in Tokyo by winning the women's race in a time of 2 hours, 16 minutes and 2 seconds. Ethiopia's Ashete Bekele finished second, while Gotitom Gebrselassie settled for that position.
And congratulations to both. AFC Leopards twice came from behind to draw 2-2 with Bandari FC in the Kenyan Premier League match played today at the Nyayo National Stadium. Bandari striker John Mwite opened the scoring in the 90th minute to give the visitors an early lead, but Maxwell Otieno leveled the score for AFC Leopards just before halftime. Later in the first half, defender Hassan Abdallah restored Bandari's lead as the match went into the break 2-1 in favour of a coastal side. However, AFC Leopards again levelled in the 82nd minute as the two sides shared the points at the final whistle. Bandari remained 8th on the log, 2 places above their opponents, Leopards. Karan Patel won this weekend's Nakuru rally to secure his second straight win of a season. Navigated by Tausif Khan in a Ford Fiesta Rally 2, Karan finished ahead of Mitsubishi Evolution 10's Jasmeet Chana, who was second, while Hussein Malik settled for third position.
Karan Patel won the Nakuru rally to secure his second straight win of the season. Navigated by Tausif Khan in a Ford Fiesta Rally 2, Karan defeated Jasmeet Chana and Hussein Malik, who were the other podium finishers. Karan's second success.
Kucho making his...
Marilyn Monroe was on top of the world. Films like Niagara, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and How to Marry the most popular actresses. And she had sealed her ever-growing fame by marrying the legendary baseball player Joe DiMaggio. But that marriage had quickly soured, and it was less than a year before Marilyn filed for divorce, citing mental cruelty. 2 years later, however, she married again, leaping from the physical to the cerebral by choosing one of America's most lauded playwrights, Arthur Miller, as her next husband. In 1959, the film Some Like It Hot was released, perhaps her greatest legacy. The brilliantly acerbic and witty comedy was directed by Billy Wilder and co-starred Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis as two musicians forced to drag up and join an all-girl band to escape the clutches of the mob. Marilyn was the band's singer. She's delightful and deservedly won a Golden Globe for Best Actress. But while Marilyn's career was at an all-time high, her personal life was touched by tragedy. Desperate to have children, she discovered she was pregnant when she and Miller returned to the States after their trip to England. Unfortunately, she miscarried. In 1960, Marilyn returned to the screen with the musical comedy Let's Make Love, in which she co-starred with the French actor Yves Montand. The rumors were rife that Marilyn and Montand had an affair on set. Marilyn's marriage to Miller ended in January.
Choices. And as we have heard many times this evening, communication is the key to making our world a better place, and nobody knows how to communicate more effectively on such a huge scale than Rupert.
Receiving a humanitarian award from actor Nicole Kidman in 2005, Rupert Murdoch showed no sign of the ruthless business sense that has made him the world's most powerful man. But the media mogul once declared, "I'm a catalyst for change. You can't be an outsider and be successful over 30 years without leaving a certain amount of scar tissue around the place." Although he studied at Oxford and worked briefly on Fleet Street in the 1950s, Murdoch's Australian roots made him an automatic outsider to the British establishment. He left Britain and returned to Australia in 1953 to take over the family media business following his father's death. Murdoch quickly built up the company's holdings and became notorious and hugely successful by applying English tabloid techniques to Australian newspapers. In 1968, Murdoch expanded his reach to England and bought the News of the World, a sensationalist Sunday rag. The following year, he added daily newspaper The Sun to his portfolio. The 1960s were a time of personal reinvention for Murdoch. He divorced first wife Patricia, with whom he had a daughter, and married Anna Torv, a cadet journalist from one of his Australian newspapers. Rupert and Anna had 3 children together, who became the heirs apparent to the Murdoch empire. In the 1970s, Murdoch gained a toehold in the US market by...
Well, occasionally, yes. Only when there's been a big mob, you know, a really big one. But usually they're quite nice if there's only a few at a time when you meet them.
Performances in Paris at the Olympia weren't met by quite the hysteria they were used to. But the Fab Four weren't complaining. Their debut US album, Meet the Beatles, had hit #1 on the Billboard chart and stayed there for 11